welcome back to our second episode of the Uncensored Mothers podcast, where we talk about pregnancy without filter, the good and the bad about it. I'm Marie-Laure, and I'm with the co-host, Irene. We are two mothers who've gone through maternal health complications, stillbirth, miscarriages, TFMR, and pregnancy after loss. And today it's a very special episode because Irene's angel baby, Laylee Joy, just had her sixth birthday a couple of weeks ago, and we want to talk about honoring a baby's birthdays even after they pass away. So a very important topic. And Irene, we're excited to hear from you. And would you like to share a little bit about Laylee Joy and your story?
Yeah, thanks, Marie. So it's Laylee Joy is my first daughter. Unfortunately, passed away due to intrahepatic cholestasis of pregnancy in 2020. So her birthday that I celebrate is March 28th. That's the day she was born and the day she died. Some moms honor the birthday and the due date. I don't do that for some reason. I know, actually, we've never talked about that, Marie. I actually
No,
like,
never.
yeah, because I know you honor your due date as well.
Yeah, mostly the birthday, and then the due date is more like I
Like
know it and maybe like the candle or something.
see, I don't even do that. I'm just like I don't even acknowledge that day, which is weird.
And
But
her birthday is March 28th, and what is her due date?
so it is April 28th. So it's actually the day
Okay.
after her dad's birthday. So it would have actually been really special had she been born on April 28th, because then her and her dad would share almost the same birthday. But she did pass away at 36 weeks gestation. So it was a month early. Technically, I reached a 9-month mark, and I was super proud of that I reached 9 months, because I didn't get to do that with my rainbow baby. But yeah, I'll talk more about that. Um, yeah, my story in a nutshell is, unfortunately, Laylee passed away during the start of COVID. So that was during the shutdown in our country that was happening, and in California it happened in early March. And then my 34-week appointment got canceled due to COVID, which was fun. And then I tried to reschedule the appointment for my 35-week appointment. They're like, "Yeah, sure, we'll get you in. We'll get you in." That ended
And
up not happening.
did
So
you already have a diagnosis of ICP when they canceled your 34 weeks appointment?
no. So I had it was deemed a quote unquote perfect pregnancy from
Okay.
my medical team. The only conditions I had with Laylee was gestational diabetes, which was very manageable. I didn't have to take insulin, just monitored my blood sugars and ate really healthy. I was also yoga instructor at the time, so I was super healthy and working out all the time. I was like that crazy mom that would be like power walking and be like super pregnant. That was me. And I felt like the best I had ever felt. And then all of a sudden my liver tanked, and yeah. So I didn't get diagnosed with ICP until after I delivered Laylee
Okay.
Joy,
And did you have
unfortunately.
symptoms at 34 weeks?
So they started closer to a 30 from like 6. Yeah. So I kind of had a little bit of itching. Then once I hit 35 weeks, I was like, yeah, I'm itching on my palms, I'm itching on the bottom of my feet, which is really weird because I thought maybe it's like a detergent, because I actually just
Yeah.
changed the detergent at the time. I was like, oh, it's maybe this new lotion I tried because I'm trying to spoil my mommy self, right? But no, it was the symptoms started and the itching was really severe. It's how can I describe it? The itch is so bad, it's like an itch you can't scratch. It's an itch you can't satisfy. So for me, it happens at night for moms who have ICP. That's when your bile acids tend to elevate, and the bile acids can come to the surface and it makes you itch. So that's where I was itching so much. Some mamas get it all over, and it's generalized. For me, it was like just my palms and my feet. And I actually called into my nurse, my doctor's nurse, and I talked to her a couple times, and I was like, "Hey, I'm itching. It's really weird. It's kind of weird. It's just on my hands and my feet." And she goes, "Oh, you're fine. It's okay. Try a different lotion or try a different body wash, or try, have you changed anything?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I just changed detergents. Maybe it's," she's like, "Yeah, maybe it's something like that. Just try it." And I was like, "But I'm questioning my baby's movements. I don't know." And then the nurse goes, "I'm more worried about you getting COVID and being in the hospital than you coming in for your 34, 35-week appointment. So we'll come see you next week. We will schedule you an appointment because we have to see you. You're about to be 36 weeks, so we have to see you at 36 weeks, she said. I was like, okay, okay. She's like, you're fine. If there's anything, just give me a call. You're fine. Called back another couple days later. This was Thursday. She passed away on Saturday. So when I called initially, it was Tuesday. Now I called in again on Thursday. Same thing, questioning everything. I was like, I'm itching. It's bad. Can you message my OB? Can you let her know? Like, I want to come see her. Just something doesn't feel right. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. The hospital's crazy right now. You don't want to come to the hospital. Okay. Okay. Then Friday night, Laylee had elevated movements. So meaning she was like, it wasn't like some babies before they're stillborn, they can like digress in movements. Laylee was the opposite. She was not in distress. She was accelerated. And I thought like, oh my gosh, she's moving so much. Let me FaceTime my mother-in-law. Let me FaceTime family. Like, oh my gosh, she's like so like, and I just had chocolate too. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's the sugar. Like she's flipping. She was in distress. I didn't know it though. I had never had anyone talk to me about like, they're like, count the kicks or like make sure it's not slowing down. That's what I was told. By Friday night, I was monitoring the movement. She was normal on a kicks. It was all at the same time. The last time I felt her kick was Saturday morning at like 3 or 4 in the morning. And then I'd say about like 7:30ish, I was like, something doesn't feel right. And then I lost my mucus plug and I started bleeding. And then I remembered my OB was like, if they're ever bleeding, you come right into the hospital. And again, this is my first baby, right? So I'm like, oh, I'm trusting the doctors. I'm like, it's fine. Everything's fine. COVID, we're in a pandemic. It's crazy. Like, I had other issues to deal with, I thought. And then I go to the hospital and yeah, this part of the story is kind of really sad because her dad wasn't able to come in with me because of all the COVID protocols. So like, I know for us, Marie, our stories really suck because of that. Those COVID protocols really sucked. I understood why. I also was like, I need my support right now, but they didn't let him in. I went into triage by myself, and then he is waiting in the parking lot. And so I was brought back into triage and I let him know, hey, I'm bleeding. And then one of the nurses was like, oh my gosh, we're going to have a baby. So excited. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so excited. We're going to have a baby. It's a baby girl. And then the first nurse checks and is checking on the monitor, couldn't find anything. Let me get the other nurse because, baby's just the heart rate, she's probably like moving or whatever. She wasn't moving. She was dead. But they were like, oh, she's moving. Yeah, she's probably moving. Second nurse comes in, finds nothing. They get the lead nurse, nothing. So they're like, we're going to page the on-call OB. And they're like, who's your doctor? My doctor was the one that was actually on call. Ironically, I had no idea she was on call. And my doctor comes in and she's like,
And sorry to interrupt. At
yeah,
that point, like you had 3 nurses look for the heart rate. They're not finding it. Like, what are you thinking? Like, how are you feeling?
So I knew she was dead.
You knew?
I knew. I was instantly crying. By the third nurse, I was like, what? Like, WTF, what is going on? Yeah. And so my actual doctor comes in and she had monitored me the whole time. Like she's still like, I love her to death. I absolutely love her. She's amazing. I'm not going to say her name, but I love you. You know who you are if you're listening to this. She comes in, couldn't find it, goes to white, and tells me the thing that we all hate as lost moms. I'm sorry, Aireen, there's no heartbeat. And I was like, what? Tears like streaming. I'm still crying, bawling. And I'm just like, what? Like, sorry, can you come again? And then one of the nurses just grabs my arm and she's like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Like, and I'm just like deer in headlights, like processing everything. And for me, I'm just like, I'm sorry, what? So my OB is like, gave me a minute to cry it out with her. Oh, sorry. Try not to cry because this part, like, really.
Yes. I think that's the unfiltered piece of this.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
really sad and heartbreaking. And
It's just so messed up.
Yeah, we know crying is okay.
Yeah.
That's what we do as lost mom. We cry all the time.
Didn't I say in the first episode, I'm going to cry every damn episode, Marie? Like, come on,
Yeah.
let's do this. Like, I'm going to cry every episode. So I'm 2 for 2. I'm doing great. I believe I'm going to stop right here really quick because this is really important to my story and to Laylee's story. I'm a full believer in the universe, God, whatever you believe in. I'm not talking about religion here. I'm talking about the energy and the vibes. There is something called attraction in this universe, right? Of like energies attracting. And I have to tell you that the fact that my actual OB was the on-call doctor during this crazy time, that was like such a sign. And that's such a gift, but it's such a thing, you know, in our stories that like there is a purpose sometimes for things, and certain people come into your life to help you on your journey. So all of this, mind you, is happening without Laylee's dad in there. I was
And
by
did you have
myself.
to call yeah, it was just, like, very dramatic and tragic that you were by yourself, like, for such hard news. Did you have to be the one, like, to call him and be like, "Hey, there's no heartbeat," or did someone else went to get him for you, or
So this was also the most messed up thing out of the story, out of, you know, just our baby dying, but this part. I didn't call him because I was in complete distress. Like the nurse saw that. And so I'm pretty sure it's the nurse that went to the same high school as me. She called my ex-husband and she goes, "Hey, you know, you can come on back." Didn't say what for. He thought we were still having a baby. So the fact that he comes in and he hears me wailing in triage and crying and screaming, and I was just like, no holds bar. I didn't care. Um, medical team let me, which I'm so grateful for, to have that moment of expression because it was really hard. And then it sucked because he came back and he hears that and he's like, "Whoa, what the hell happened?" And then my OB had to tell him. So I didn't tell him. But just to look, you know, on his face and on everyone's face, it was just like just pure shock. Like it was pure shock. Even my doctor, you know, she was shocked. Like we talked about. She's like, "I've never experienced that as a provider." They finally wheel me back after I'm calmed down and then get me up to a floor, immediately go into procedure, right? Like I'm already in labor. I'm already like in active labor too, Marie. I don't talk about this a lot, but I was already in labor. I was like 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters dilated almost.
then you mentioned you lost your mucus plug.
Yeah, yeah. And it was the physical pain was nothing that I remember compared to like the emotional and spiritual pain, right? And I think for us, like, it was different for us, physical pain versus that whole emotional pain and spiritual pain. So yeah, I was in active labor. I had no idea. And then they wheeled me back. And yeah, then they get down to it. I'm induced. I had the happy drugs. I will admit that. They had to almost sedate me because I was so emotionally distraught. And I've talked to other lost moms about it. They've had a very similar experience. Like, and I was in so much pain as I was delivering, like my liver levels were still elevating. So like I was just in so much pain and I was in more pain after I delivered lately. So it was almost like I delivered her and then ICP symptoms are supposed to resolve and mine just like elevated. I felt like I got struck by a truck like 5 times. Like I was in so much pain. And then,
I think it's important to me,
yeah,
like, you were very sick.
I was
Like,
so sick. So
you
sick.
you had the emotional pain, you just lost your daughter. Then you have to give birth, which is, I think, the hardest thing you can ask a woman and a mother to do is to give birth to the baby, to her baby, knowing the baby's dead or going to die. Like, I think it's just the most unnatural thing you have to do. And you were very sick. And
I
I think
was.
the strength and courage that it takes to go through that is incredible. And I think because our stories are so censored and taboo, and
Yeah.
our birth stories are not really, like, honored the way they should be, but there's giving and we both went through this. There's giving birth to a live baby, and that's really hard, and we're not gonna say it's an easy thing to do.
It's not easy either.
But giving birth to your baby, is not like emotionally, you're not like when you know your baby's there and alive, it's like there's some excitement, like, yeah, sure, labor is hard, but there's something to look forward to. Where it's like here, there's nothing but pain to look forward to. And that's, I think, that incredible strength you had doing this and doing this also, not just with the heartbreak, but also being physically sick.
That was tough because I didn't really realize how sick I was. Again, it just like kind of hit me like 5 trucks like ran over me. And I mean, after I delivered her, like I was on really heavy painkillers. I'll put it like that. Like because I was in so much pain. And then they're like finally doing the bile acid and liver panel levels. So what hurt the most too was when I told my OB, she's like, "So what happened?" And I told her what happened. And I told her, I'm like, "I called your nurse and I talked to her twice this week, her specifically." And, you know, she's like, why did you call in? I had no idea that you even called in. My OB had no idea I even called in, Marie. She's like, "Wait, what? What happened?" And I go, doctor, I was itching. And she goes, where? And her face got white again. And she's like, where were you itching? And I'm like, on my hands and my feet. She goes, okay, I'll be back. Sends in the lab tech. Like, this is like immediately after. And then like they took Laylee, right? Because they take our babies afterward and they kind of clean them up and make them a little bit presentable. That way we can hold our babies. So while they were doing that, they came in and did my bile acids, full liver panel, ALP, AST, the whole nine. Everything was elevated. Like it came back within 24 hours or less, actually. I think they rushed it because these bile acid tests that, like, I want people to understand, these bile acid tests have to be sent out. And most time in San Diego, they have to be sent out of state to like Arizona or Nevada. So there's only so many facilities in the United States that processes these bile acids. So the fact that I got my bile acids so quick, they either processed it in-house, like somewhere in San Diego or LA, and rushed it because my case was so severe. Or they like rushed it and sent it out and then they got the results immediately via whatever. But it was so severe that like my bile acids were like 5 times the normal high. So a really super high is 100. Mine were like 5 times that. So it was like your bile acids should not, like a high is 10. Like that's diagnosable. I was in liver failure. So they had me on magnesium drips and everything, full 9. Like I was hospitalized. I could not get out of bed. I mean, even if I wanted to, I couldn't get out of bed. And then to explain how severe this was and how I was dying, they had to have 2 nurses sign off on all my drugs. So you have one nurse come in, like my actual nurse, and then they had a second nurse come in, like a lead or something, sign off on it because I was on so many IV drips and medications. I don't even remember everything I was on. It was so much, but I'm so grateful they saved my life. I'm so grateful I'm here. It was still hard though, because while I'm dealing with all this healing, my baby's still dead. And she's in one of the cuddle cots, like the refrigerated. For people that don't know, it's a refrigerated little cot that your baby can lay in and it'll keep them kind of their body cool. So we got pictures and I got to hold her again. But again, I couldn't get up out of bed. So I couldn't even like hold her and stand up. I couldn't do any of those things. So I just have pictures. I don't even have videos from that day with her. So, but I don't regret it because they did the funeral like arrangement process and everything for her and the cremation process and started all that. All the paperwork was done. Like I was almost like so high out of my mind being on all these drugs and on the magnesium and all the drips and stuff. I was literally like, I can't sign anything, but I had to sign off on all these things for Laylee. That's like how sick I was. And I don't talk about this. So I'm glad I'm talking about this now because it was really traumatizing
It's insane they
just
make you
how bad it
sign
was.
things when you're like I mean, it's like I had to sign things too after my
Yeah.
diagnosis, and the world
Yeah.
just fell apart and was like putting paper in front of me, and I'm like, "Yes, I'll sign." You know, you're like,
Yeah.
someone could have made me sign my life away in a $20 billion loan, I would have like whatever.
Yeah. Like, sure. That was me though. I was like, yeah, whatever, sure.
Yeah, it's like, how are you is that valid?
I don't know. There's a witness, so I guess it validated. But
It's
I was like,
crazy.
I'm like, I'm all drugged up. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm signing, but okay. But yeah,
Yeah.
like going through all that process, like people don't talk about it, but it's like we have to go through all this paperwork process and medical stuff.
Mm,
And amongst healing and trying to just survive, I had to deal with all that.
right.
So it was, I think now, like after all that and looking back on the trauma, I don't talk about it a lot because mine was really traumatic. And I mean, ICP is not this bad. Like I'm like, I had it again with Leia. It wasn't as bad, with Leia. Mine was just a really extreme case, unfortunately.
And lack of care. I think that's like very
Yeah.
important to highlight.
Yeah.
That you did not get the health care that you deserved and needed because and I think that's like a huge issue we saw during the pandemic and early on when we had no clue, right? It was like early March, nobody knew what was going on. And we saw an increase in women dying during like in 2020. And you did not get the care you needed. And then with Layla, the
Hmm.
baby you had after Laylee, like
Mm.
they knew, they took care of you, there were no lapse in care the way you had experienced before, and it's awful because we deserve the health care we need, and it's not
Every
okay to
every pregnant
not show
every
it.
pregnant woman deserves it. I'm gonna say that. And
And
it sucks that we didn't get that.
what did they need you to do when you first called, like, with these symptoms? Would you have been, like, going into a lab and getting lab work? Was that really the
Yeah.
first step needed?
Yeah, that's a great question, Marie. So yeah, so what should have happened was that. So I would have gone into my 34-week appointment. What would that have been? Monday or Tuesday of that week? Because my 34-week appointment got pushed from the week before, right? So that's I'm also going to note that because I was 35 weeks that
Right.
Tuesday or Monday or whatever. Yeah. So I was already like 35 weeks. So my 34-week appointment got canceled and pushed. And then they're like, no, we'll just see you at 35. Because usually it's like even. It's like 34, 36, 38, 40, right? I didn't yeah, it wasn't. Sorry, I just don't know what to say on that. I should have gotten the care in general, like, I should have gone to the appointment. That would have been step 1. After that, what most providers do is that when any pregnant moms mentions itching, you get a liver panel and a bile acid test because that's the only way to determine ICP, unfortunately. And it's the only way to protect the baby because even with fetal monitoring, it's not a way to detect ICP. It's just a precautionary thing that you can do. So a lot of it is symptom based. And then I should have just gotten the care. You're right.
And I'm very sorry you did it.
Thanks. Thanks, friend. Yeah. I feel like for us, for everyone, every pregnant mom should be getting the care that they need. Like I'm sorry, whether you have a health history, whether you have a perfect pregnancy every single time, every pregnancy is different. So
Every pregnancy is different, and it's really hard when you're on the other side, like, part of this shitty statistics that like, you had maternal health complications, your baby died, and yet because it was your first pregnancy, it's like you're always considered low risk until
yeah,
you're
isn't
not. And it's like, in part of me, like, gets it, but at the same time, it's like, why can't we just be considered like it's the first? We have no idea which way it's gonna go. Like, I think we like when it's your first pregnancy, it's a bit of a wild card, and to just be like, there's no education. I'm assuming you didn't really know about ICP.
no. So you know that sheet that they give you on like things to look out for? Like they give
Yeah.
you a general overall sheet, especially when it's your first pregnancy. Yeah, that's such bullshit. Like they don't include itching of any kind.
Mm.
The only thing that I saw in there related to any skin things was PUPS, like PUPS,
Can
which is
you?
like a skin. I think it's like a skin condition where it's like you can technically get a rash like kind of like eczema, but sometimes it's just like a reaction, like because your skin starts to get elastic and you expand and your skin's very sensitive and all of that. Oh yeah, that's why the nurse is like, "Are you sure it's not your detergent or something else? It might be pups, might be something like that."
And I feel like the fact that they go straight to, and it could be your detergent, and it could be your new face, your new cream, lotion. Like, it could be all of that. But why not be on the safe side and be like, it could be that, but let's throw out this very dangerous complication just to be safe. Like,
Let's
and if
just make sure.
everything comes back normal, then go back to your regular detergent. That is such a, like, why? And it's similar to you, like, we downplayed all the symptoms I had
Yeah,
because we didn't know. So it's very easy to be like, "Oh, well, it's could be," like,
it's
trying to find a
anything.
reason, and the reason, because we don't know, is not gonna be like, "I think I have this, like, very deadly complication. Can you please check?" Because we didn't get we don't have the knowledge, like, they didn't educate us on this.
I'm laughing because yeah, you're right. We didn't have the knowledge. Like that's what it comes down to. And I think this is why we do this podcast because it's like, yeah, our cases are very extreme, on the end, but also, we could have been on the other end of the extreme and had very perfect pregnancies and literally had no morning sickness and no gestational diabetes and no swelling of any kind, but
Right.
that's not our stories. And unfortunately, that's not a lot of moms' stories when they become moms. And yeah, I just wish that the taboo was a little bit broken on this, to be
Right, 'cause
honest. It hurts.
I think my biggest takeaway from my experience is, like, education is power. If we were educated, if we were told, then we could advocate for ourselves, for our babies, and maybe outcomes may not have changed, but maybe they could have. Like, we don't know.
It could have been the same. Yeah.
And we have to live with that unknown of, like, what if? The what if I had known that as symptoms were a complication, and we had really be like, no, 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 I need to see the OB. Um, like, or I don't care what you're saying, I'm going to the hospital.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. When she was like, I'm more worried about you going to the hospital and getting COVID, I'm like, is it that bad? Like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, is COVID that bad compared to
Right,
what I'm dealing with? But I mean, in hindsight, I should have just gone.
right. And again, we had no idea about COVID because it's early March, but still, like, pregnant people, pregnant women still needed to get the care they need to get. They didn't shut down the maternity wards. Like, they were still working, and you go with extra precaution, but yeah, telling somebody. Then I think that's something that's I mean, the same thing. We lost our daughter in 2020, except we were in July, so it was a little bit more where it was known about it. like,
Yeah.
but I think it's the reality of 2020. It's like everybody was like, I'm more worried about you getting COVID, or I think we all have like a COVID something
The fear
attached
of it.
to our pregnancy. Like,
Yeah.
we all have like and this happened during COVID. I think that can be that its own episode of
Yes.
losing your baby during a worldwide pandemic.
Yeah. No big deal. Once in a lifetime pandemic and being pregnant, that's fun.
Yeah,
And we
I
did it.
know,
We did it. Well, I did it twice. I was kind of crazy. I had Leia
right?
a year later and then Teo. Was there still COVID precautions with Teo?
20.
Okay. See, that's nice. That's nice. I hope to have
We
that
still
one
took
day.
we still took COVID precaution because I think if we do an episode on COVID, I can talk about the trauma I had
Yes.
due to COVID.
Yes. You need to talk about that.
But so I've been still like I'm still wearing a mask, especially being pregnant. But yeah, so we took our own precaution.
I mean, might as well though. I mean, I did that with Leia too. Well, I mean, I had to. But again, with Leia, it was such a different pregnancy. And also, I'm gonna note on that. I'm gonna note on that because that did kind of suck. Leia, the pregnancy with Leia. So I got pregnant with her 3 months after Laylee passed away, and then 3 months later, and in between those, I had a miscarriage. So it was really rough on my body. Like those 2.5 years were really rough on my body. And like I had to heal, right? Because I mean, having babies back to back is really hard. And then on top of that, it's like, yeah, dealing with all that. But with Leia, I did not have any support. I went to every single appointment during that pregnancy by myself because of COVID. So then on top of the trauma from Laylee, I had the trauma of going to every single appointment by myself with my rainbow baby, and I didn't get to enjoy it, to be honest. Not all the way that I wanted to. So there's all that too that ties in with Laylee, and that tied into her 6th birthday this year, actually. So
Maybe
like you
that's a good
mentioned,
transition.
yeah, yeah, I was gonna say, I think this is the best transition because, to be honest, and I talked about it a little bit on Instagram on a story, but you mentioned the what ifs, Marie. Yeah, for me, the 6th birthday this year, that was tough. That topic around like the shoulda, woulda, couldas, the what ifs. What would she be like at 6? Just all those memories, all those things that I wish I would have been able to do, or like having you know, 2 daughters so close. Like they would have been best friends potentially, or I don't know, but like if I had Laylee, would I have had Leia? I don't know. Like that's also the other thing too. So those what ifs. I think it just hit me more this year because I try not to think about the what ifs, through a lot of I've gone through like 2.5, 3 years of therapy just on Laylee. And that whole traumatic time. I think during therapy I talked a lot about the what ifs, and then I kind of stopped because it was kind of like, I mean, Marie, it's like we're just spiraling at that point. It's just like you're just going to hurt yourself more than you're going to help. And so that was the one thought I couldn't get out of my head this year. So while other years have been great, and every year I get her a cake, and every year I uh, blow out a candle, or Leia will blow out the candle or something. And I have her bear with me, which her bear's right here with my dog.
Love having her.
I
She's
know.
part of this podcast.
She is. She's part of it. Luna too. Excuse me. Yeah, Luna too. Like she's just hanging out there. But yeah, it's just the what ifs, Marie, really hit this year. And I think you can identify with that. Otherwise, it was a good year. I think the first 3 years, the first three birthdays were hell.
Can you tell us a bit more about what made them so difficult?
So for me, it was hard because so Laya Jade was my rainbow baby was born 5 days before Laylee's birthday, the day she passed. So March sucks for me. So I always tell people like, and since Laylee's birthday, I always take March 28th off. Do not bother me on March 28th, people. I will not answer my phone. The only one I would probably answer my phone for is uh, my significant other or like someone like Marie because she gets it. Otherwise, don't text me like or reach out to me because that day I'm just so griefy and it just sucks. But like this year, I actually had to go out and do stuff on her birthday. So it was my boyfriend's sister's birthday. So her birthday's on the 27th, right before Laylee's. So we went out for her birthday. She wanted to go out again. The last 5 birthdays, I never did anything. I sit at home and I eat the part of the cake that I get from my stillborn daughter. And I look at pictures of her and I cry with my dog and my bear right here. Like, I'll be honest, that's what I do every single year. It's helped because Leia's there. And so she's been a great big help. But March sucks because now I have to relive the whole trauma of like calling the nurse and all that. So like the middle of March sucks for me because of that and reliving that mentally. And I don't think about it intentionally. It just pops into my head. I don't know if you get that sometimes too, Marie.
Oh, yeah, yeah. For me, it's July, and like when we get to July, it's like this. My husband's birthday is July 5th, and so
That's
that's
right.
the last happy photo we took together. Me pregnant, and again, 2020, we had nowhere to go,
Yeah.
so we never like really took pictures anyway because we're like we were home, right? It's like what am I gonna take a picture of?
We all
So
look like bums at home.
anytime we took any pregnancy pictures, and but it was his birthday. We went to his mom's house, like did like a I forgot what we used to call this, like when we like all the distance, like safe distance birthday.
Yeah.
So we,
The safe distance or
outside, or
whatever.
yeah, I'm blanking on that term that
Social
we live by.
distancing. Social
Social
distancing.
distance. Yeah,
Yes.
that we live by
Gosh.
that for a whole year.
Sorry,
The
I got
social
triggered when I
distance
said that.
social distance birthday. Yeah, I was like, was wearing it, and it's like, let's take a photo. Like, we can have a photo. So I was like, it's like the last happy photo, and then the diagnosis, and like like the doctor ignoring my symptoms and the diagnosis and the death and giving birth. And yeah. So
So you get what I'm
you
coming
don't,
from on
you
that.
don't try to think about it. It just comes up because that's what anniversaries do and trauma do. It's like you just the time of year, or it's gonna trigger it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So makes complete sense that you are reliving all of that.
And it's like week by week or day by day, you know what I mean? And then, so like my only happy time in March is like that first week. And then the 23rd is Leia's birthday. Otherwise, I'm very griefy and I'm like, I hate this month. Don't talk to me. And it sucks too because it's like, right? My boyfriend's sister's birthday is on the 27th. My dad's birthday is on the 20th, like the first day of spring. So, like, for me, March has always been such a joyous time. It's like I love like the Easter season. I love like,
Yeah.
all of this, right? The traditions of it. And now for me it's like March is not forever ruined, but it's close.
Yeah. I relate so much to what you're saying, and I know we're not the only ones because it's like this time of year that they're ruined. Like July is also my birthday month, and Juliet died like on the 27th. That's my birthday, and I get her birthday is the 30th. So there's like on my birthday I found out she was gonna die. So it's like
Yeah.
the things that it's ruined. Like it's like, how do I celebrate my birthday? And
I'm
you have
sorry.
to learn to deal with that, and then you celebrate her birthday. And but yeah, like you have, and for you it's like you have Layla, which is like a
Mhm.
joyous day, and it's like,
Yeah.
how do I make sure not to take away from Leia's birthday, still make it special when it's, like, such a grieving time.
Right. So that's the hard thing for me. It's an emotional roller coaster of March. So I get like it's called like a grief hangover. Some lost
Mhm.
parents could probably identify with that, or anyone who's gone through grief and the passing of a loved one knows that what a grief hangover is. It's worse than an alcohol hangover because sometimes it lasts like 2 weeks, like it did for me this time. I think that was the longest it lasted for me. Like, there were just multiple times I would just, like, go cry in the shower, cry in my car, and I'm like, "Why am I just crying?" And it's just, you gotta let those emotions out, you gotta let that energy out, and yeah, it just sucks for me. July sucks for you, and it's just part of it, though, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think everyone who experienced grief, like deep grief, as a part of the year that's ruined. Maybe your birthday, or another child's birthday in some way, holidays. We all have a time of year that's very difficult, and we make it through somehow, right? Like we get to the other side, but oh my gosh, that whether it is a month, weeks, whatever it is for you, like I know it's like a fight sometimes to get it, to
Yeah,
make it through the dates.
yeah. I'm so glad March is over, them. I will just feel like that. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to share, part of my story on here. And thank you for giving me the safe space, friend.
Yeah, always. And what would be, thinking about like someone that may be listening who is about to celebrate the first birthday, because that's a tricky like I think that's a
Mm.
tricky one. Like the first birthday,
Yeah.
what would be like some advice you would tell that person?
First of all, give yourself grace. Like that is one thing that I worked on in therapy for 3 years. And my therapist, um, who you know who you are, girl, like I absolutely love her too. I'm giving all my shout outs to my people here. But yeah, she told me and she was straight up honest with me. She's like, Aireen, I'm gonna be real with you here. I was like, what happened? She goes, you don't give yourself grace, girl. You don't give yourself any grace. You are not forgiving of yourself, especially after what happened with Laylee. And I'm like, I don't give myself grace in general. Like I'm kind of a perfectionist. There's a lot of like trauma behind that growing up too. And she goes, no, we're not talking about that. We're talking about your daughter and you need to give yourself grace in this moment because it wasn't your fault. And so I'm going to say this to all the moms out there who have gone through this. It is not your fault. Whatever happened, your baby dying is not your fault. And to be honest, I wish I had someone tell me this because I you remember Marie in that like support group, all of us were like, we took accountability for our babies dying in one way, shape, or form. It's not our fault, though. It's not our fault. Unfortunately, bad things happen in this world and they happen to us and they happen to our babies. Doesn't mean it's our fault.
Right.
So that would be my one thing.
After your baby died, someone should like walk around with you all day, every day, telling you it's not your fault. Like I think we should like there should be a thing. It's not your fault doula or something. Just
Right?
somebody being like, "It's not your fault. It's not your," because I think your brain goes straight like, I did. Like, I have a vivid memory of being in my bathroom, rethinking my whole life. My
Mm,
whole life. Where did I mess up to deserve this? Like, what did I do to for my daughter to die? Because you did something wrong, right? And it's like, "No, life sucks. Life is unfair." But yeah, definitely, like, you didn't do anything wrong. It's not your fault.
yeah. It's not our fault.
Life can be very cruel.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Yeah.
one thing I would suggest too, the only other thing, take all the pictures, look at all the pictures. If you're in it, if you just like had a miscarriage or stillbirth, just take all the pictures and the videos. Even if you're like in bed, sick and dying like I was, just do it. Just do it because I wish I had those videos. I don't have them. And again, I give myself grace. I don't even like think about that because I'm like, girl, you were dying. Like it was like videos or dying. Like what do so I think for me, it's give yourself that grace, do those things, take the pictures, do everything. Like if you want to have a funeral, great. If you don't, great. Like whatever, however you want to honor your baby, great. Get the bear. There are so many beautiful mementos. I know for sweet Juliet, her representation's a lion and that's part of our logo. Um, For the podcast and for Laylee, it's butterflies. Like in the first one, the butterflies kept smacking me in the face, and I swear I had another one do it like the next day. Marie, I didn't text you and tell you, but yeah, I had another one smack me in the face. It was so annoying. Do the
It's just her
mementos.
saying, "Hi, mom."
She's like, "Hey, mommy, thanks for my cake." Yeah, but like where did you get yours from? Mine's a Molly Bear. So Molly Bear did my bear.
Mine is through this a vendor called Elska. It is not at all a memory animal, like, it is for anyone. Like, it's a lot of birth stuff actually or christening, but it's hard to find a lion.
Yeah, I know. I looked. I looked for you actually.
So I find and very early on, we got the lion, like, I think probably ordered it still in the hospital, which
You
is
would.
not hard because I was in there for a while. It's yeah, and he came naturally too. I think that's something like and we could have, like, a whole episode on this, but the having this lion, this bear, like, some people think it's weird, and I've had comments about that. But to me, it was, like, just, like, a very natural thing, like, I was like, "I don't want our arm like, if our arms feel empty, I wanna be able to hold something."
Right.
And so I found it's called Elska. I think it's from Canada, and so I just found this lion where we're able to put, like, her name, birthday, and so it was, like, really, really nice, and yeah, we've had her for 6 years.
That's crazy. I know. I've had my Molly Bear over there for yeah 6 years now. She's okay. Yeah, for 6 years, and mine is the exact weight that Laylee was when
Right.
she was born. So for me, it was hard because I like needed to hold something that had weight. So I love that it was her exact weight, and it's a way to honor her. And so,
Well,
I
what's very interesting is we did not get a weighted lion, but Juliet weighed 14 ounces, which is 397 grams, and her lion, that's the weight of the lion.
okay. That like
What?
okay, chills because
Yeah,
that's like the
yeah.
universe, girl, working.
Yeah, one day I was like, "I wonder how much this lion weighs," and I was like, "Are you for real? It's the same weight." So, we it ends up and it's crazy because, 14 ounces is nothing. It's not even a pound. She weighed nothing. And so it's very disturbing when I'm like, she was so tiny."
I know. That's hard too. I wanna open that floor up because there's a lot more to your story,
And we'll get to it.
and we will get to it. There's so, so much for us to cover. The one thing I do wanna say, I think my one last piece of advice to anyone that's honoring or wanting to memorialize their baby or a loved one in general, but especially their baby or their child that they lost. I know that's one thing we don't talk about, Marie, is like child loss too, like with SIDS and stuff, because this is all very
Mhm.
related.
For sure.
Just thinking about those mamas too, especially sorry, I just got chills. That's like, oh, I don't really think about that. But yeah, that still happens. But if you're wanting to honor anyone, like I got a tattoo. So I got a tattoo for Laylee. So you probably have seen it in the video. So
Mhm.
it's her name. And then I have her, she was cremated. So I have her ashes in the ink, and then the tattoo artist tattooed it on me. So this is my first tattoo that I got, and so she's always physically with me. That was really hard to find a tattoo artist that would do that, but I have one here in San Diego, and he's amazing. And I just felt like I needed her physically with me. If that's weird, I
That
don't
is
know.
definitely not weird, and I love it. But
I've been called a weirdo by people, but I'm like, I don't care. I have my daughter's ashes with me, so screw
I
off. I
think
don't care.
it's like one of these things of like you would have told me this like 10 years ago, and I was like, "Okay, let's you do you." You know what I mean? It's like I think until you go through it, you're like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
weird." I mean, that's like another thing. Like after Julia died, I was like, "I want a necklace with her ashes."
Yes,
And that
yes,
was
and you
really
still have it,
important.
right?
But yeah, yeah. And my mom was really against it. And she keep being like, "Are you sure that's what you want?" And it's just like, Does your husband okay? Is your husband okay with this?"
What?
And I was like, "Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah." And she was, like, really weirded out by it. And I'm like, "Yes, I want her on my heart for" like, I wanted a necklace. It was very specific because I was like, "If I have a necklace, then she's on my heart, and that's where she needs to be." And I love that. I love that necklace. It was made by an artist, I think, in California, and it's a beautiful piece and a very, very talented artist. And so I love it, and I don't care what people think, but I mean, it's like one of these things, like, if you had told me the year before, like, "Hey, by the way, you'll get someone will die and you'll get a necklace made out of the ashes." I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I will not." And now I'm thinking, like, when my husband dies, in a long time from now, will I
Like
get
60 years from now, girl.
will I get a ring with his ashes? Like, I'm sort of like because again, this person, I mean, she may not be
Yeah.
around after, like, she may retire, but I'm like, "Oh, she makes such beautiful pieces," and that's her whole job, like, that's her whole business, and it's beautiful because when I sent her, I inquired about it, she's like, would you share pictures of your baby? Like, what you would tell me more about your story?" And she's like, "I create these pieces with, um" like, while looking at the pictures. She reads the story, and now I have to look it up because I'm like, we need to do a shout out to her because she is
Yes. Yes, please.
amazing, and
I have to say too, I love how and I've met so many moms specifically after loss, who get into creativity or they start gardening. Like I know you started gardening, I started gardening. I became obsessed with gardening when I was living in Alabama and yeah, and then I made these earrings for Laylee. I was selling earrings before, and coasters, so I wanted to wear my Laylee and Joy macrame earrings today. But yeah, just like it's so amazing what the talent that comes out of it. So, but yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
like, that outlet that you need, but yeah, the name of the business is Close by Me Jewelry.
Beautiful.
And she does, like, beautiful, beautiful jewelry pieces, and she said, like, she said she makes every little one a bit different because she create them with the person, in mind, and she's just a phenomenal person.
A
Yeah.
shout out to her. Oh my gosh, thank you for that. Oh my gosh, Marie, thank you for that. Because I think it's really important. I want other parents to like, if they want that necklace, have that support or like they want a Molly bear or they want a lion bear, like I think it's just so important to honor.
Right, and sometimes you do these, like, on the like, your baby's birthday, because
Yeah.
it's okay to not, like, after the week they died, be like, "Okay, I have everything set and in place." None of us had that. But sometimes, like, especially the first birthday might be like, "Oh, that's when I get a tattoo, like, in memory of my baby," or maybe I'll get a piece of jewelry, and I think it's okay to get a little something for yourself or to memorize them and remember them. There's no right or wrong way to go about that birthday. All the
That's true.
birthdays for the
All of
rest
it.
of your life. Like, there's not gonna
Yeah.
be you can go all out if you want to and invite, like, the whole world to celebrate donations. Some people do, like, lots of, like, raising funds for a cause um, and some people just need to be left alone and home and
Yeah.
cry,
Yep.
and some people need to ignore the day. I mean, some people will just be like, "I can't." It needs to be a day like any other, and I think no matter how we mark or do not mark that day is totally normal, totally okay. There's no right or wrong way to do it,
Yeah. Yeah. You hit the nail on the head, Marie. Absolutely. It's however you need to do it, right? However you need to
right?
grieve or not or
And
celebrate
one
or not.
one year can be different from the other, and that's totally okay.
Yeah, like the sixth birthday versus the fifth birthday. I was totally fine at her fifth birthday. Sixth birthday, I was like, oh, she's Louise. This is terrible. I do want to do one call to action. So if anyone does want to donate, there is a nonprofit called ICP Care that I have been a part of on the board. ICP Care is super near and dear to my heart, and I'm not going to cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. Sorry. I have been a part of ICP Care since Leia was born. I've known about them since Laylee passed away, and they have been so amazing with resources and support. And so, huge shout out to the founder, my friend Donna, for bringing me in when I was available on the board. I helped start their ambassador program, which now is an amazing program where we have almost an ambassador in nearly every state in this country, which is amazing. And then I'm still currently the Alabama ambassador. I still help out whenever I can, but I do want to ask anyone if you want to donate to ICP Care and help to donate for research to the condition I had, please go ahead and donate. And I'll probably drop a link in the caption um, when we post this. And if you want to donate $6 for Laylee's birthday, I would appreciate it if you want to put in honor of Laylee or for whatever. you want to. If you want to donate $1, I would appreciate it. ICP care is fully volunteer based. I never have gotten paid for anything I've done with going to conferences and sharing my story or any regard. So if you want to help out, I would be so grateful, guys. Thank you.
I'm gonna donate right now.
All right, I'm gonna
Thank
cry.
for her
Oh,
6th birthday.
thank you, friend.
All right. It's open. I will.
Stop. Oh my gosh. I know. And thank you to everyone who's donated over the last 6 years. I know I've had like people reach out and like, where can we donate? Where can we like honor her? So that is one way you can honor my daughters, because I had it with Leia too. And just continue to fund this research. Same thing with preeclampsia. We need more research on this, on these conditions, especially because they are killing babies and killing moms. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And I am getting off of my soapbox, Marie, before I keep going.
Yeah,
So thank you for
we
having
will
me.
talk about this. And yes, please donate for ICP care. We need all the research we can get. We know women's health research funds are very low. As a researcher myself, we know
Yeah,
like
you know.
it's underfunded, under researched. Anything can help. But thank you so much, Irene, for sharing your story and Laylee
Thank
Joy's
you.
story. Powerful. Sorry. So thank you all for joining us and listening.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everyone.